Hello everybody and welcome to Montreal for the next round in the League Zero Super Formula Championship. This is the Barrier Magnet Grand Prix of Montreal, presented by Cali Washed, as Jaden Callaway likes to call himself, clearly. He's currently second in this qualifying session, so we won't go too hard on him. He's here, and so is Adam Merchant as well, looking to chase down Elliot Court, who's now got the championship lead, newly, of course, after last week's racing at the Hockenheim. It's myself, Ewan O'Leary, and Dean Biggles alongside me. Good to have you alongside me for this one, Biggles. We were comparing this circuit to Albert Park and other places around the world. And it is one of those sort of hybrid street to permanent racetracks in a sense. This is a little bit further out the way of Montreal, the city, rather than Melbourne. We were comparing those two. It's on its own island, of course, surrounded by water. But we're not surrounded by water from the air here today, at least. Last week at Hockenheim was very interesting with the rain and not rain that couldn't quite decide what it wanted to do throughout last week's racing. This is the current championship standing, and Elliot Court is currently leading the way by 33 points over Adam Merchant. Notty ML not out of it yet. Neither, I would say, is Jaden Callaway or Elliot Rolls, but they are getting cut adrift a little bit, and they do need a good night tonight with only 2 rounds to go after this one. Montreal going to be a difficult one for Elliot Court. He's got to nurse that championship lead now from Adam Merchant, who we can't forget has only made 7 starts this season, but has still won 5 of those races remarkably.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Ewan. Of course, one of my favourite tracks here in Canada, where there's probably about 6 miles of underground tunnels as well, too, because, it's starting to snow in North America as well. Not snowing, of course, in these beautiful conditions for racing in the virtual world. And look how close that top 4 are at the moment. 2/10 separating these drivers under their qualifying with about 5 minutes remaining. Ewan.
Yeah, so we're not quite as... we are getting towards the end of the session indeed. Merchant with a fastest first sector there. Callaway in the pit lane though, so he won't be going any faster, and you wouldn't imagine Merchant is going to have to go any faster here to take pole for this race tonight. Elliot Court and Philly Fitzsimmons are there or thereabouts. You're noting just how quick Fitzsimmons was in practice, by the way, but for whatever reason that doesn't seem to have translated in qualifying. And Adam Merchant touches the wall. Bit of netcode there, taking his wheel off. It's not quite that serious, but the lap time won't count for Merchant, and that's the time that Fitzsimmons has got to beat.
Well, we were kind of debating about how you take this corner right now. It's because I was seeing some drivers on the apex there. No time to even worry about that, my friend, because qualifying is done and dusted, so nothing he can do about that one. Looks like Merchant will be on top of the timesheets.
Yep, and he will take pole for race 1. 2-race night, by the way, for the penultimate time this season. Adam Merchant on the pole in front of Jaden Callaway. Elliot Court and Philly Fitzsimmons then on row 2, and a big gap back to the rest. Antonio Bianchi on home soil in 5th, better Stasis O'Hare. Just over a second off of pole. Robert Nobles and Elliot Rolls in a row 4, ahead of Jace Meyer and Gareth McAllister rounding out the top 10. Jack Mundy and James Turnbull then on row 6. 13th place has gone to Nick Peterson ahead of Ryan Thibault, Xavier Senev and Guillermo Parry on row 8 ahead of Arturo Mayoga and then Carlos Palinas. Ricardo Espino and Francisco Souza ran at the top 20, and Notty ML's at the back again here. I seem to remember he not qualified recently, and indeed he hasn't qualified for this one either. There's a recognised top 4 there, isn't there? Merchant, Callaway, Court and Fitzsimmons, who all seem to be quicker than the rest. It remains to be seen just how quickly they'll get away from the rest of the field, really, and how they're going to battle over this race win. Yeah,
of course, we're going to have that first sprint race for our heat, and then we're going to get on to our feature race. No pit stops necessary in our first heat race, but a pit stop is necessary. And remember, we had to debate that, didn't we, Ewan, at the start of the season. Now that we're deeper into this one, we know that there is fueling allowed in pit lane. As to how short fuel you want to do it. Hopefully we get everybody on the grid here at the moment. Good grid here tonight as well, too. As you mentioned, 21 drivers with Noddy having to start. Hey, well, if you were to ask Noddy about starting last in the Formula 1 GP almost from pit lane, if you're Max Verstappen, podium's on the cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
It did take long, didn't it?
Yeah. I know. I didn't bring it up this time, even though we're the ones coming into form right at the correct time.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I literally didn't care who won the title this season until you said that and made it an England versus Australia thing, and suddenly I care.
It's always an Aussie versus the Brits, you know. I mean, like, we still got your flag in a corner and we're trying to get rid of it, but for some reason we don't want to vote to get it done. So we're still a part of the British colonies.
So, yeah. So, some of you want to get rid of it. I can imagine it splits opinion from what I've seen, although I've got no idea. I will note, by the way, that 4 drivers didn't get on the grid for this. Bianchi, Zuhair, Espino and Rolls, 3 of those qualified really quite a long way inside the top 10. So not sure as to what's going on here, and indeed why we've got a formation lap either at the beginning of this race. But anyway, it's not a full formation lap.
I think Antonio was signing autographs down there at the moment, obviously being a fan favourite here, as well as Ryan, who's currently up in P10 at the moment. So 2 Canadians on the grid here, so you'll hear a cheer every time they come around the corner.
Yeah, here we go. Through the final couple of turns. Maybe they are just trying to do it to excite the fans by coming through the field. Let's see as Merchant brings them up towards the start-finish line. He really does need to start taking points of Elliott Court. He's going to start to try to do that tonight. He holds them for a long time. And look at Noddy ML steaming through the middle there as he guesses the start really quite nicely. Callaway gets alongside him. Merchant in towards turn number 1. In contact. And that's Elliott Court who goes around. The championship leader in trouble again here as he makes contact with his countryman, Billy Fitzsimmons. We have got a caution. We've got an early caution here. And that is unusual for this series. We did see one 2 weeks ago when we were told reliably that was an accident. But this one has seen the championship leader go around and get a meatball. And he's in trouble again, Elliott Court. This is just terrible. When Adam Merchant is here, Elliott Court seems to struggle.
Let's have a look here from, we'll see if we can get better camera angles to see. You can look at this turn there. There's your contact there, Ewan. Sends Elliott Court around. Who else gets involved? I think that might have been Rob. Whoa! That's probably the reason why they had to bring a caution out there. We also had a third car. Now, was that Robert Nobles that went flipping?
It was Nobles who went flipping, yeah. I'm trying to work out if that was spun around. I think it might have been a Toro Mayorga from the livery. But there's the contact. I mean, is Fitzsimmons further enough to the right-hand side? Is Court turning down on him? But look at that. Nobles couldn't really avoid that in time, I'm afraid, and he goes around for quite a nice gymnast's finish there, landing on his feet, but unfortunately that's meatball flag. It was indeed Mayorga who spun around. He took it so slowly. I think he got hit. So he might have been better served actually going a bit faster there. The weird thing about that, but anyway, pretty unlucky. He spins around and he'll be all the way down in 18th. So only Court and Nobles, the casualties from lap 1. Elliott Rolls did also get back out onto the circuit there, by the way. So he will be in the race, but we're under an early caution here tonight.
And this is just where a slight bit of contact happens. Does he turn in too much? That's interesting, isn't it? It doesn't look like he probably gave enough space on the outside. Did he even realise that he had a car up the inside? I thought it was Merchant or Fitzsimmons, actually. Maybe Fitzsimmons. But turned in a little bit too much. Now, you can go back to that debate, once again, when I bring Formula 1 up about Oscar. But there's the situation of whether or not there was. Either way, what's going to happen, of course, right now is Elliott Court's down the pit lane under a damage clock with Robert Nobles.
Well, that's going to be a lowly finish, and whether he gets back out there or not, having completed those repairs, it's not going to matter, I don't think, because there's not very many points available in race number 1, and so it's going to be about a focus on race 2 again here, which feels like it's happened quite regularly recently, which is a bit of a shame for Elliott Court, who has already taken his drop round, or at least his minimum score is 10 points, so he needs a much better score than that, because Merchant could score close to 50 if indeed he picks up all of the bonuses.
Have a look at
This
this.
is the start again. Look at Noddy ML coming through here, by the way. He's going to guess the start right. I'm not sure that should be legal.
Are you kidding me?
He doesn't do anything illegal, really, but I'm not sure it should be. So he just steams straight through the middle there, and he takes 4 places straight away, and there's another 2 as they're busy bobbling around on the outside of the circuit there. So Noddy ML actually makes up place to 12th position, makes up 9 places, but obviously wasn't the only one making up places there because of the chaos through the first couple of corners.
Yeah, he's the Argentine as well too, so have a look at this. Another great starter. He's up 8 in P8 at the moment. Goes from the outside, thank you very much. Goes into the grass a little bit of space left. zooms around the outside, and just to make it stick, keeps off the grass, avoids all that instant to the left-hand side of the track there. And there you go.
Nicely done.
Bob's your uncle.
Indeed. That's still on the pace car, by the way. We're going to be coming into questions of time in a moment. We've only got 11 minutes left to do 8 laps, and the pace car's not in yet.
No.
So that's going to be a bit close. They might get all 10 in, but knowing that they would have run out of time for another one, or maybe it'll only be 9 laps. But remember, this first race is limited to 15 minutes. The second race limited to 50 from memory. Maybe it's 45. It's somewhere around there. But very rarely do we receive any trouble from that timer, because we don't normally have safety cars, and it was an accident last time. So I wonder whether it was this time as well in the Barrier Magnet Grand Prix of Montreal. Callaway, the sponsor for this race, has indeed got past Merchant on this start of the race. So in all the carnage, I realised I haven't mentioned actually that change for the race here. It was close to 1 and 2 between the two of them. We'll see how it actually happened here, because when you're on the outside at Montreal, on the outside the front row, it's seen as a disadvantage, but actually you do get the inside at the second turn, and that looks like what Callaway has won the place with here. There's the carnage behind, but look at the exit he gets here, and obviously the battle wasn't finished when the safety car came out, but because he has his nose in front, he gets the place. He's properly in front of Merchant here, who tries to switch it to the inside, but by this point the caution's coming out, and so Callaway's in the clear, and he gets, there you go, see them all slowing down. Callaway doesn't get a so maybe it wouldn't have lasted, but the timing of that caution was very good for Jaden Callaway.
Yeah, job done. Absolutely brilliant. See them weaving at the moment, try to get some temperature into those tyres as well, too, because under the pace car it isn't what they ideally want. Partly cloud conditions, about 30-degree track temperature. It's dry for once, that we're having here in the League Zero Formula Series, because we've had a few of those. JT's asking out there, rolling start, yes. Is this America? It is North America. And they are I-pacing currently at the moment, yes, sir, under the caution car.
Say that to a Canadian, by the way.
I said North America.
The amount of times...
Yeah, I didn't say America. Well, it's America, of course. America's goes all the way from the north, all the way down to the tip of Argentine. So, yeah.
I imagine... I know in the past the amount of Canadians, I used to meet, who I just used to hear the accent and think American is amazing. But
don't call a Canadian somebody from the United States as much as you don't call an Australian somebody from the United Kingdom. Yeah,
I mean, we're quite different, I would say. More so than the Canadians and the Americans.
The same too with the Scottish and the if you call an Irishman an Englishman, ooh, yeah. Might want to take that.
Or worse, British. That's worse. But anyway,
yeah, exactly. Yes. There's the pace car coming in, my friend. So we should get ready to go green.
So 8 minutes to do 7 laps. I can't see that happening, to be honest. I think it's going to be more like 6. But anyway, let's see. Callaway's not going to get them green for very long either here, if he waits a very long time. Oh, look at Amel again. That shouldn't be legal, honestly. He's in the top 10 now. And here comes Fitzsimmons. He's made side-to-side contact into turn 2 in the past, and that's a very wide berth to Merchant. Oh, he's hit him. He's hit Adam Merchant. Fitzsimmons involved in lap 1 dramas twice here. Oh, and turned into the wall as well. I think that's Parry and Tebow in trouble here. And they're both dropping down the field. Jace Meyer as well. Oh, my goodness. This is a disastrous second start to the race as well. Dear, oh dear, Noddy Amel's in the top 5. How's that happened? Well, part of the reason is because everyone else is crashing into each other, and the other half is him making up so many places on these restarts. But it's an unbelievable start, and Fitzsimmons has got no front wing either.
Yeah, he's in big trouble at the moment there. He's got to try to hold him off. The thing is, it's got time on his side, believe it or not, than anything. Callaway's going to be gone. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. There's not enough time at the moment, but here it is. You got to also think about the boss man, the Canadian, the local hero. He's actually up, he's down 4 place, but remember he had to start down the pit lane, so the Enchi is putting some battle up there with Francisco, also Salsa, and goes a little bit deep on that one. Blanchie knows this track probably quite well there, and he's got the Frenchman up the road.
Yeah, so Bianchi under pressure briefly, and...
Oh,
it's just that code. Noddy Amel just spontaneously combusted on the back straight there. That was very weird, but he's back again now. Dear, oh dear, some weird stuff's happening tonight. Fitzsimmons currently leads this train, and we'll see how difficult it's going to be to overtake. You said earlier that you don't think it's going to be that that hard. Obviously not the easiest place in the world, but not that hard. So you'd think that Fitzsimmons with no front wing will be no match for Turnbull here, who's queuing up behind him.
Well, through the slower corners, no doubt. As you can see, this section here, he should be fine. But once you get up to that the Casino Straight, he's in big trouble. I mean, that downfall is going to murder you.
Well, it might even be in this. And he's on the push to pass here. Turnbull up quite early. Here we go. Into the outside, and this is going to be trouble. Mundy looks down the inside into the chicane. That was close, and there is contact. Mundy's in the fence, and the rear tyres off. There's going to be suspension damage down there, but no meatball so far. The crabbing might be enough, though, for Mundy, who had a go coming into turn 8. They didn't even wait to the back straight. He went for it straight away, and it backfired in the end. Turnbull as well went on to the push to pass early there, and he's still on it here. He knows that this race is going to be very, very short in reality, because we did the first 3 laps basically under caution here. So he's going to use that push to pass early. There's only 5 minutes to go in this race, by the way, and we've still got 5 laps remaining. It's a remarkable situation we've got here. I think it's going to be just 4 laps to go instead of the 5 scheduled, but for either way, for Fitzsimmons, this is a big, big challenge to keep these all behind.
I think James, I've been more worried about the fact that Noddy's coming through thick and fast at the moment. He's up in 17 places. He's thinking P2 here. I mean, I think P1's out of time at the end of the day there. Callaway has that one unless he makes a mistake. Even Gareth McAllister's done a solid job there for the Aussies, the Inca Solstice adventure. But look at this at the moment there. I think it's more P3 battle here. Fitzsimmons can hold on there with that wounded number 16 car. James is under big pressure there from Noddy.
Yeah, it's huge pressure at the moment. Noddy Amel, as you say, needs to make up any points that he can here. Don't forget how minimal the points are in the sprint race. First place 15, second 12, then 10, 9, 8, etc. all the way down to 12, which gets 1 point, and anyone else who finishes the race as well. Oh, deep into the hairpin there for Fitzsimmons. He's looking to get the exit because that's all he's got here. He hasn't got any turning. He's just got the exit, and then he's on the push to pass, and Turnbull's off it because he's used it on the previous lap. So this is the mismatch. This is the risk that I always criticise Callaway for not using it early enough in the race, but this is why he doesn't, because this mismatch can create opportunities for others. And there goes Noddy ML. He's up into third place. The mismatch creates a chance for Noddy, who's onto the podium. He's made 18 places so far, and he doesn't look like he's going to stop there.
Yeah, I know. If Fitzsimmons has to hold on time-wise now, I would imagine, as you said, because he's really challenging him as well as too. Gareth McAllister. Turnbull's going backwards, you said. Probably a little poor choice of when to use that push to pass. But here we go. What can Fitzsimmons do to hold off the fastest man in Canada, you'd have to say, apart from Callaway right now? He had left off big time. No overtaking there, my friend.
Very much just a time race now for Fitzsimmons. He's just 3 laps away from the end, but look at this for Amel. Oh, he's got close to the wall there, but it might not even matter. Here comes Noddy Amel into the slipstream. And will he fire down the inside? He saw what happened to Mundy when he went for it. Oh, and he might have tricked Fitzsimmons, and he has. Fitzsimmons goes too deep. And he's got back on. Now, surely that's going to be a slowdown penalty. If that's not a slowdown penalty that he has to significantly serve here, then I'll be amazed. And Amel knows it. He's going down the inside. Fitzsimmons is going wide to try and clear it here, and he's going to try and get back in the slipstream and come straight back past again. But I'm not sure he served it. I'm not sure he's completed serving that just yet. He's on the push to pass. Oh, he's going to try and come back again. Oh, my word, this is extraordinary. Fitzsimmons, after going too deep, is now emptying the push to pass, but no, it's not going to happen. He's got no front wing, and Noddy Amel's up to second place in this race, and Philly Fitzsimmons is now clinging on for a podium.
I don't know how he managed to serve that, actually, believe it or not, going full steam.
No.
Somehow it was cleared. So there it is. So Fitzsimmons, at best right now, hold on to P3. That's going to be the absolute best he could do. Gareth McAllister, how much time does he have to try to steal that away from him? You can never count down Fitzsimmons, my friend. You can take off the front wing. Look at that, too. It's absolutely burnt all this push to pass, too. That's red.
Yeah, is he going to empty? Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure that. Yeah, I think that's flashing quickly enough for him to be emptying it right now. I'm not sure why he's doing that, but I guess he's figured out with less than 2 minutes left in the race, he's barely going to get the cool-down period cleared before the end of the race. So he's decided that now is the time. The next lap will be the last one, by the way. We're not going to get all the laps in, not quite. Lap 9 is going to be the completion of this race to the 15-minute time limit, and Fitzsimmons is all out of shape through 8 and 9 now. And actually, Bianchi followed him there. He also got a slow down, but Fitzsimmons has realised, I think, that he can cut those corners and get away with it. So he's done it again there. I think that one was less intentional, to be fair, and the first one wasn't intentional either, but he just missed his braking point. But watch it clear itself on the back straight here. Fitzsimmons is going to get away with it, although he's got no push to pass left. And here comes McAllister. He's saved enough on the back straight. He's not saved it all, but Gareth McAllister's on the podium here, and he's up into third place.
Yeah, Callaway just at the fastest lap, just absolutely at the front there. Fitzsimmons is hold on for dear life. He may be able to try to hold on to that P4 currently at the moment. You can see a little shenanigans going on between Nick Peterson and Lianchi. No overtaking through the Wall of Champions, my friend. Otherwise, you will be in the Wall of Champions, that one. But here's Callaway. Where's Callaway? He's way up the road at the moment. He is almost into Sector 3. Right now, he's in Sector 2. Everybody else is just coming into Sector 2. That's how far he is up the road. So, solid drive here. 12 seconds in just a chunk of about 5 laps, realistically, because we had a few under the caution.
Now that we've said all this, by the way, he's so far in front of them that I'm actually starting to doubt myself that this is the last lap. There's still half a minute left yet, and he's already at the hairpin. So it's going to be quite close. Oh, Fitzsimmons and Bianchi side by side. And Fitzsimmons off again through turn 8 and 9. Third lap in a row where he's cut this corner, and now Bianchi's going to come through. He's going to utilise the last of his push to pass here, and so is Peterson on the run down to the hairpin here. Oh my word! Oh, he looked up the inside and making that free wide. Peterson didn't quite manage it. Now Callaway into the final couple of corners. I think this could be the last. It will be. The checker flag's waving already, and Callaway only, oh wow, by a single second. It is the checkered flag. This race ends a lap early, but Callaway was pushing 100% there because he wants the fastest lap point, which he has now got. Into the final corners. Oh, over the curbs and into the Wall of Champions. Bianchi and Elliott Rolls, is it, into the pit lane, into the pit wall, as well. Oh, and Bianchi's going to limp home. Look at this. Meeples all round. Fitzsimmons has found the wall. Rolls gets through to 5th. It wasn't him in the pit lane. It was his teammate. Rolls gets his top 5. Saneve gets 6th. Fitzsimmons ends in 7th with a meatball. And Bianchi limps over the line in 10th. Adam Merchant ends up in 9th place, would you believe it? Even after all of that, he still gains 4 points on Elliott Court.
Let's see if we get a quick replay of this one. This is what they call the Wall of Champions. I was going to say 2 and 1 is not going to work around here, my friend. Cuts the chicane way too much. Nowhere Fitzsimmons to go. He was just committed to the corner anyway. And they will limp across there. That will allow the others to sneak on through. What a race.
That was ridiculous. A ridiculous race at Montreal, that's for sure. But draws to a close, and what a fantastic finish it was for Jen Callaway. He wasn't privy to any of that, by the way, finishing 14 seconds in front of the rest. Nottingham L had one of the drives of the day, if not the drive there, gaining 20 places to finish second. Gareth McAllister gets his podium, might even be his first this season from memory. Nick Peterson and Elliott Rolls round out the top 5. The way Rolls rescued the top 5 there was pretty extraordinary as well. So Nave finishes 6th. Fitzsimmons limps over the line in 7th. I'm not sure there is any penalty for him getting a meatball there at the final corner. But anyway, Suhair finishes in 8th place. I'd have Adam Merchant, who, as I say, gains 4 points on court despite his disaster through turn 2 in that race. Bianchi rounds off the top 10. Ricardo Espino and Arturo Mayorga the last to score points, but everybody else who finishes also does. James Turnbull and Francisco Souza on the lead lap. Mundy retired 2 laps from the finish. Maya 5 from home, and then Paré, Thibault and Balinas on that second restart. Robert Nobles and Elliott Court on the actual start of that race were out. Well, goodness me, what a race that was. Race 1 it only is here in round 9 at Montreal, which is just extraordinary. I mean, one of the drives from Nottingham L's season that he really needs, although even that only brings him to 36 points behind court. Merchant only gains 4 points. The championship leader way down, and that will, of course, hurt him for race 2 as well, because none of those championship contenders I just mentioned, other than ML, who's the furthest away, will be involved in the reverse grid. Having said that, the outsiders like Callaway and Rolls will be, and as I say, with over 50 points for those two to make up, they do need to perform well in race 2 as well to start to catch up to Elliott Court.
And now we can just take a deep breath and go, what just happened? Exactly as JT was saying that. Whoa, incredible race by Noddy it was. And are we going to see a legendary dive by Adam as well that he's referring to? of Adam Merchant in this one. But we're in a 5-minute warm-up at the moment, which only seeing just a couple of drivers out on the track. And, of course, we'll just show them at the moment because we haven't seen many of the other drivers because of that action that was happening right up the front there. Here's Carlos Balinas, my friend, the Mexican. That's in his neck of the woods, if you're counting the Americas, of course.
Yeah, but that's like me calling Suzuka a home circuit for you.
Well, no, because, you know, Australia's a continent, my friend. You know, I don't Hey, when I lived in Panama, and as well as this man too from the Argentine, he lives in the Americas. And Ryan. But
he's almost as far away from Montreal as me in Argentina.
Well, when I was living in Panama, they used to call themselves Americans as well. Panamanians.
Yeah. No,
Central America.
I get it.
Well, in fact, I don't know if they really like to call themselves Central American. I think they used to call themselves North Americans. But they are right at the point between North and South America. So, but one thing I did notice during some of the practice sessions is why I was kind of putting out Fitzsimmons to be one to watch, because I'm looking at a lot of the drivers doing their practice sessions. Fitzsimmons practices his pit stops. And how many times have we been through this in the past, Ewan, of drivers that make mistakes in pit lane and essentially costing themselves a couple of seconds, which is all it takes sometimes to win or lose a race.
Yeah.
Just curious to know.
Don't forget the importance of it here as well, because it's a big braking zone. Normally we talk about it in a sense of gaining and losing time, and people don't think about it, and that is all true, anywhere we go. But here it's so important because it's such a massive braking zone. We might even see Balinas practice it here. I hope we do, because you see into the final corner. It's straight ahead. It's a little bit of a difficult pit entry, in fact, to get into. If you've got people in front of you, you've got to sort of slow down, then speed up, and then slow down again. But it's a massive braking zone, and the bigger the braking zone, the bigger the time gain you can get. So if you've really nailed a braking point, then you'd be surprised the few temps that you can gain and how important they might be for Fitzsimmons when he's embedded in the mid-pack, as he will be to begin anyway.
And you don't want to be in the inside line, as you said, going into pit road, because you have to cut across to the road there, and that'll be a big ding, no doubt. We have a few drivers themselves will be in the lounge. I think Sergey, Antonio, Nick, Gareth, Arturo, and Ricardo are all in. So they'll be able to communicate to each other and say, I'm heading in the pits now, so don't cut across my nose. So as for the other drivers, no. I do. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is also a very fun league as well too. So these drivers aren't going to take it as serious as the likes of Formula One and stuff like that. But imagine teams communicating to each other, or drivers communicating to each other in like real life motorsports. There, it's like, could you imagine the bombs that they'd be dropping all the time to the other drivers?
Yeah, just to abuse each other would be.
Letting them know too. Useful. Oh yeah. Oh, Lewis, I'm heading in this lap, all right? I'm going to change over to the medium compound tyre. All right, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. By the way, for the grid, it's just the top 5 reverse. So Elliott rolls on pole ahead of Nick Peterson, Gareth McAllister, Noddy Emel, and Jaden Callaway. Everybody else is where they finished in race number 1. Just quickly on that, by the way, quite a few years ago, remember when the in NASCAR racing they had in super speedways plate racing in the 2000s when two cars twinning up was quite common. In fact, the way you won races indeed in the mid 2000s, the early days of the car of tomorrow, as it was called at the time, and now it's the car of yesterday. And it was you were allowed to talk to another driver on the radio, just as you're saying there. Yeah. Because your mates, you're doubling up. That's how it was. That's none of the big packs you see these days. They were all 2-car packs back then. Weird times.
That it is, absolutely. Perfect conditions, you'd say, to go motor racing, although you see the drivers weaving earlier. They are going to be obviously starting underneath the safety car, not a standing still start here this evening. So we'll see how it's going to pan out for... How's Noddy going to come on this one, my friend? Because he's going to be starting in that P4 position on the second row. Is he going to do a Noddy special here? And what about, obviously... Well, we didn't see too much of Callaway, did we? Because once he got that lead of the race, he that's it. I mean, he was gone. He was gone. He's already over. Looking at heading over to Japan, my friend, for the next race on November the 20th. For the Lou and Sue's Suzuka.
International Grand Prix. I'm Ryan Thiebaud. So look forward to seeing him again next week. Starts all the way down on row 9 for this one. Quite a long way down the back of the pack alongside Guillermo Parry, who's back there as well. So there it is. The conditions on the right hand side, 27 degrees Celsius down on the racetrack, which is nothing too bad. And just the middle of the afternoon, really, or the end of the afternoon here in the middle of May. Elliot Rawls will soon be in control of the field, but he can't believe his luck that he's on the pole here, given the fact he gained those places on the run to the line at the sprint race. Now he's going to be starting from the front in race 2. This is the Barrier Magnet Grand Prix of Montreal, presented by Kelly Washington. We are underway again. Bit of weaving in the midfield, and this time Amel doesn't guess the jump quite as well, but he still steams around the outside. Oh, and Callaway makes contact. There's it's a stack up, and look at that. There's drivers up on top of each other here. Unbelievable again.
Yellow flag is out.
Absolutely unbelievable. And we've got another safety car. This is unprecedented in this series. Unprecedented. Callaway and Merchant have got meatball flags, and they are out of this Grand Prix.
Wow.
That is astonishing.
Where did it all start? It's going to be the interesting question. Well, certainly not here, because that's certainly around here. That's where it is. So 3 wide, early days into this race. Somebody gets, Noddy, I think, gets in there, or maybe the chicane hit McAllister, turns them all around at that point, and then bang, to pile up.
Have you ever seen that, by the way? I don't think I have.
I have at a demolition derby before, but not super formulas.
Stacking them up like plates in the evening time. That is unbelievable. Fitzsimmons piles into this. He's not at fault for this, by the way. Callaway is in the red here on the inside, down the inside. I can't work out who this is, who he turns, but I think they turn across him, and Fitzsimmons gets hit up the rear multiple times. And I mean, look at that. I have never seen something like that on a racetrack. That is just extraordinary. And don't forget, 2 of the championship contenders, albeit one of them is an outsider. One of them hasn't barely been at any races this season, but nevertheless is a contender. All caught up in that. And his championship rival up 7 places as a result. McAllister, by the way, spins by himself. Yeah. He's not really involved at all.
He was lucky to get away with that one, actually, wasn't he? Because I think it was that concertina effect from McAllister that caught everybody completely off guard. Let's have a look at Adam Merchant. So he's back here just minding his own business. And all of a sudden, he's going to come to the scene of the crime, which is nowhere to go.
No chance. I mean, the irony being, the way he slowed down into Walls Turn 1 was a driver taking it very cautiously, because he knew he was right in the midfield and he could exactly get caught up in something like that. But in the end, not slowing down nor speeding up would have saved him from that. Not sure what Espino was doing, by the way. He was the guy I was getting nervous about on the way towards Turn 1, because he was weaving around so much, but he also couldn't do much. Smacks Merchant square in the face. And the weird way that these cars interact with one another as well, basically comes to a dead stop there and ends up losing his front wing. I mean, just an extraordinary start to this race. I don't know how Elliot Court makes his way through it. He steamed through the middle initially, and he's just in the danger zone here, but he comes to a stop in time. That is incredible. Survival skills there for Court. He gives up most of the places that he ended up gaining, actually, in the early part of the race, but he survives, and that's the most important thing.
That might be the biggest Super Formula pile-up you've ever seen there, JT. I think it's probably the biggest Super Formula pile-up we've ever seen as well. And if that's one Ewan's ever seen, Ewan broadcasts about 10 races a day, so that's an exaggeration. 3 or 4 a day. He's seen a lot in his time. So there you go. Fitzsimmons serving the black flag. Callaway on the damaged clock down there in pit road. Merchant looks like he's out. Big names out of this race already. Big names. This is an opportunity now for the rest of the field there to try to get a chunk of change to some points in this standings, my friend. So how will that flip things this evening there, Ewan?
Well, Nottingham L again is the big winner at the moment. Another second place finish. Now, obviously, it's a long way to go, but second place finish plays 14th at the moment for Elliot Court. That would be a 23-point gain. That's before you factor in any bonus points for the fastest lap, which is as yet to be determined, because we haven't had a fast lap at all yet. But that's a sizable gap from the 48 at the start of the day. And if you remember, it's down to 36 because of the first race. Suddenly you're looking at a just over 10-point gap. And Nottingham L is doing to Elliot Court what Merchant did to him last season. And Mel was leader for a very long time last season and had a couple of bad races and had that championship taken away from him by Adam Merchant, but at the moment he'll be sailing past Merchant. In fact, he got right up close to him with race 1, and now all of a sudden he's looking at getting close to Court. We could be seeing tonight, obviously Elliot Rolls in there as well a little bit. Yeah. Could be seeing this come to a 2-horse race tonight, but not the 2 horses we were expecting to see, because Merchant is gone. He is no longer in the session. He's gone. But ML is doing a lot better than Elliot Court is, who's quite a long way down, albeit with still a very long way to go. At minimum, 40 minutes left, whether we do those 27 laps remaining or not.
And Elliot Rolls, of course, getting a couple of places up in that previous race with the late incidents into the Wall of Champions, the final couple of corners. He'll be happy he started that one on pole, because he was like, we'll go back and have a look at Elliot Rolls. This is all he needed to worry about, was just getting it off the line as quickly as possible into turn 1, which he does. Gets straight in there first. He's got Noddy to worry about a little bit, but then in his mirrors, he's going to see that carnage behind him and go, well, thank you very much. And I'm off. So for the Scotsman, he can do a really good job here tonight. He can get up the road there and kind of run away. But how long do you reckon he can keep Noddy at bay for?
Yeah, well, I've got no idea really. They've been not together at all in this race, and that first restart is obviously not a indicator of what could happen here. But just an extraordinary start to this race. It really is. Haven't seen anything like this in the Super Formulas for the League Zero Super Formula Championship. This being the Barrier Magnet Grand Prix of Montreal, by the way. Thanks to Jen Calloway for sponsoring the race. Unfortunately, he's out of the race in race 2, or at least he's on for a long repair. So that is a real shame. But you're right, it's going to be out at Rolls versus ML at the front, and you've got to think that ML does need to win here, really, because regardless of where Elliot Court needs to win, or he's going to get to, I should say, ML is going to have to get some places here and make some places up on Elliot Court, and by doing that, the best way to do it is indeed by winning. So this will be a very lively restart here, I think.
And I'm happy that the boss is still in here as well, too, because he's the local hero. In fact, both the Canadians are in this race. Ryan's down there in P10, and you can see Bianchi is in currently that P5, up 5 places in this race. So to win at home is also, a great feeling to win at your home track. I mean, every driver likes to do that, no doubt. If you get a chance to go to your fellow country for a race, that's in our calendar as well. Nothing but for Elliot Rolls and Noddy. They ain't going to have a chance, unfortunately, to race any of their home tracks. Wouldn't even know where the home track is. Green flag.
No, I wouldn't know either. Free wide off the start again here and towards turn 1. Oh my word, that was close. Bianchi there very nearly getting turned across the front of Senev and Zuhair, who were side by side already in towards turn number 1. Court is already in the top 10. He's made up 3 places on this restart, already back in the pack as the excitement was going on out front. Court has been quietly making places up to 9th. Oh, around the outside he goes through the chicane in the background, and he's up ahead of Robert Nobles as well. So Elliot Court into 9th. That's not great news for Mel, but he can't do anything about that. He's got to focus on the race lead here, and Elliot Rolls, who is out front.
I thought Noddy was going to bring it to Elliot there, but he's actually had to back off a little bit, and he's weaving around at the moment trying to keep Bianchi up behind him as well. So look at this top 3. So a little bit of a breakaway from Saji a little bit further down, but so far so good. I don't see anybody pulling in the wrong direction at the moment there. They did get through.
Down in towards the final hairpin, not the final corners. Oh dear. Oh, sorry, just a connection problem there. I didn't realise Fitzsimmons was still in the race. He's still okay. Ryan Thibault, though, has gone for a spin. He's on the power on the exit of the hairpin, and he's gone. He's down to 18th position, sadly for him. So down he goes. Parry and Balanas straight through. Here come Rolls and ML through the final chicane again. And Bianchi in the background is just homing into view. Oh no!
That's
huge trouble in the background. I think that's Turnbull. Is it in the? No, it's not. Fitzsimmons is one of them, and Jace Meyer is the other. Sorry, Jace Meyer has found the catch fence here. Thank goodness this isn't real life, because he would have killed some people here. Yeah. Let's see how it happened. Oh, Fitzsimmons spins and Meyer just goes over the top of him. Oh my word, that is a bad crash.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in the catch fence. You're right. That probably would have killed the photographer that's sitting there trying to get the best photos that you're going to get in Super Formula. And have a look at this on board. You got small children, put them to bed. Bang. Right up on the tyre barrier.
I've never seen that before.
You're going to drive out of that, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're seeing a lot of things tonight we've never seen before. This is just weird. What is going on? What is going on tonight? Is it a full moon? round for Fitzsimmons. Look at that.
And yeah, JT, and if anybody else are watching out that one, chuck that in the not top 10 highlights for iRacing that you can submit, as we're about to see a battle for P2.
Yeah, this is Zuhair and Bianchi. Where has ML gone? None of ML's
true.
gone miles down the field.
He's off, he's
Elliot
crashed.
Rolls is still here. Oh my goodness me.
No.
Well, we've been admiring the crash through the final corner, the wall of champions for Fitzsimmons and Meyer. They're both out of the day, but ML has hit trouble here. Guillermo Paré is also out of the race, but I don't think he's involved in this. Through the he's been hit. He's been hit there by Bianchi, who's got his front wing back, but Noddy ML goes to the back of the field. Elliot Court is now up to 7th, and he's ahead of all his major championship rivals, bar Elliot Rolls, who leads.
Wow, it's all happening. I don't think anybody's safe from Canada. They say Monaco's the difficult track to race at the moment. It seems like Canada is here in the second Gilles Villeneuve, as we're seeing a nice little battle brewing between McAllister, Peterson and Mayorga. But further up, we got the battle for the Brits at the moment. Jack Monday and Elliot Court. Elliot Court has to fight his way up 14 positions, gained in this race so far.
Oh, another spin! Sousa! Seneve, sorry. Got it wrong again. Xavier Seneve goes around. Out of turn 9, careful for ML, who joins him! Noddy ML joins him!
No!
He's been hit by Thibaut! Oh, he was trying to get out of the way, ML, but Thibaut was trying to avoid him. And Ryan Thibaut's been hit now. Oh, there goes Palinas through on both of them. Noddy ML's going to have damage too. This is a disaster. What is happening tonight? 5 laps complete, and we've seen more drama in the sprint race than this race combined to feed a whole season. Here comes Mayorga down the inside of Peterson. Thankfully, doesn't go for that through this final chicane.
I was about to say, have you got an indication of how to be safe to go through that corner? Just look at the car that's up on the catch fence. That'll give you an indication of not pushing it through the wall of champions. Literally putting the wall of champions up there on the fence. Nice little battle for 9th and 10th currently on your pictures. We will get back up all those replays soon. Trust me, as JT says, what on earth am I witnessing? A race of all races here in Canada.
Yeah, I'm not sure either what I'm witnessing at the moment. This is unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. Oh, wide from Mayorga. Oh, and McAllister just has to shove him down the inside, and he's going to try and come on the inside and not quite respond quite so keenly there. So, it's down the inside on the way towards turn 8, but these are teammates, don't forget. Mayorga and McAllister, the Inca Salsa Chips team. They're currently, by the way, all the way down in 8th, I believe, in the team standings, these two, as teammates. Mayorga 20th in the standings, and McAllister is 25th. Not too many points between these two so far, but they're both in the top 10 at the moment, which would be a good score. Sousa, meantime, on the push to pass, and he's holding off Nobles as a result here into the final chicane. We haven't seen too many runs knocking on the door of a top 5 from Sousa so far, but he's having that right now in 6th position under pressure from Nobles.
Yeah, you can see Francisco said put the parked car right in the middle there. For the Argentine driver, he said, okay, if you're going around the outside. In fact, you're going on the catch fence too if you go a little bit too far through those turns. And these two are going to be at it for a little bit. Noddy and Ryan, I think, are at it a little bit further back on the field. But just want to see how it pans out up the front here, because I'll tell you what, you look away on this race, you're going to miss action. As you've not tuned into a Formula 1 broadcast because you're probably half asleep right now. This is real racing at its best here for the League Zero Formula Series.
Yeah, and again, every time I come to Montreal, I'm always a bit fearful that the race is going to be a bit dull, to be honest, because for some reason, I may have just seen a bad race at some point in my life and it's sort of scarred me, but it always produces something amazing, and tonight it's been over what you could ever have expected from this racetrack tonight. Nobles again in towards the final corner. He's going to have he might even not use the push to pass advantage. Down the inside on Sousa. He's quite tight on the apex there. Got to be careful. He doesn't drift up into Sousa, and no, he actually slides too much. Yeah. And Sousa comes straight through, and there's no point using the push to pass now. He's miles away. So that battle's settled for the moment. Court, meantime, has got up to the back of Turnbull and Zuhair, who are also battling away. Turnbull on the push to pass in the background, but not a great run through the final chicane. And here comes Elliot Court in the background. He's not on the push to pass himself, though. He's biding his time, and he's inside the top 5, which is all he could have really hoped for from race 2.
Absolutely, 16 positions up at the moment there for the Brit in the number 23. He's just got to play the attrition game at this point, because you can see a few drivers have had a little bit of mistakes. Those barriers will come out and bite you in a heartbeat if you make a mistake, and it's catching almost all these Top Guns off guard. Of course, we lost a couple of those Top Guns early in this race there with the collision that caused the second caution car come out this evening. First one in the heat race, second in the feature race. Always a lap on two. Both of them. He comes caught now. Look at James Turnbull to defend.
Through the chicane, Turnbull stays in front nicely in that fourth position. In front of Court, and now down into the final corner. He's on that cool down, so if Court wants to be aggressive, he can use the push to pass now to clear him. Is he close enough? Looks like he probably is. There is Turnbull at the purple flashing light, the dreaded purple flashing light, which means no more available, and Court's going to be aggressive here. Maybe he knows that there's a cool down period up in front here, and Zuhair certainly knows it. He's on the push to pass now. Oh, he's not close enough, Court. That is a surprise in towards the final chicane, but he's going to have to get a couple out of here, and Turnbull's been weak through here the last couple of laps, and so Court has got a great chance now, although Turnbull with the slipstream of Zuhair in front is going to have the legs to defend. Oh, he breaks early on the inside. He tried to go defensive. In the end, he opened himself up there, and Elliott Court, the championship leader, goes round the outside of the first part, inside of the second, and he's up into fourth place.
Well, that was bold and absolutely brave on that one. See if James going to fight back on that. But I'll tell you what, that's a Daniel Ricciardo last of the late breakers move that you can see there. Brilliant job done there for Elliott Court, up 17 places now on this one. He's on a charge to get maximum points here, knowing that most of his championship competitors are sitting down there in pit road in the damage clock.
Yeah, and retired in most cases, by the way. Merchant's gone after his incident. Fitzsimmons gone, although he's not a championship contender anymore, which is just baffling, really, when you see his speed. He's just had so much bad luck. He's going to be over 100 points off the championship lead, by the way, after tonight. Would you believe it? That's how much of a disastrous season he has had so far. The battles just will not end here. Elliott Roll still leads the race, by the way, and is going to come away with perhaps the most points of anybody tonight. He's had such a good day. Noddy Amel all the way down in 12th place. He doesn't seem to be suffering from the damage of earlier on, but he's just suffering from bad position. Here comes Turnbull on Elliott Court, and he's come back again. So the fact that these two are mismatched on the push to pass means that Turnbull can use it when Court can't, and vice versa. And they're just going to continue to overtake each other like that if they're not careful.
Well, exactly. The only difference is, of course, it's not unlimited, so you will run out. Yeah. At some point, when are you going to elect to burn it all, as Gareth McAllister does try to squeeze his way past her? You've got Nobles and Francisco as well, too, going side by side all the way down. I was going to say, I thought that was the Casino Straight, but it's not actually. Here we go. Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, this is actually somehow a bigger battle than the one for third, bizarrely. And one for sixth place. It's because Nobles has been defending from Sousa for so long. But he's creating a group of followers now. McAllister, having gotten past his teammate, is here, and so is Peterson as well.
How's he going to serve it too? That's the difficult part, isn't it? You've got McAllister right at the tailpipe. Oh, no more into the fence at the moment there for the Aussie. So maybe I think that probably just saved Francisco a little bit more time for the attack right now for the Inconsulsa number the blue. He's putting they're all using that push to pass, aren't they?
Look at that. I mean, it's impressive, but there's almost no offset here when you do this, especially when you're the last driver. I know it's hard to see when you're behind, unless you've got a spotter who's very attentive with that kind of thing. It's very difficult to know. Oh, and in the wall! Somebody's in the wall there, out of the final turn. Oh, it's Elliott Court! Oh, Elliott. My goodness me! It's the championship leader who's got a meatball, and all of a sudden, he is also in trouble here. He's not going to finish either race tonight. He's going to get 10 points added to his score because that is his drop round, and so that will help. Oh, he's been taken out by Turnbull. Oh my goodness!
One mistake, unbelievable, like that, and look what happens. All of a sudden, my friend, you're into the. Well, you're not even in the key letter, my friend. You're in the concrete. There it is. He lost it coming in on the braking. Oh. And Court had nowhere
Turnbull
to go.
Badly damaged too. Well, oh dear. McAllister's in the fence now. I mean, we're not even halfway through this race. This is just extraordinary. There goes Peterson into the top 5, can you believe it? Sousa actually holds the inside quite nicely there. So he's let Nobles get away now, very much so, but he's still got Peterson for company. And if he uses a bit of push, they're both on a cool down, sorry. They're going to be using it the old-fashioned way, down the back straight here in towards the final chicane, where the Wall of Champions is. It's collected its fair share of victims, and maybe even the champion in waiting of this season.
Whoa.
Oh, they nearly tried it. They nearly tried it all the way through, and McAllister, perhaps smartly, decides to come in.
I think that's a good idea, actually. You just want to get out of that one. I can't believe these drivers are going to risk it for the biscuit, side by side through that corner here. I've barely ever seen it in my... That's a little bit too deep there from Francisco. He might be able to hold on that for now with that half a second gap. I don't think I've ever seen really two cars go side by side through there, and any of those drivers to have an I survived the Wall of Champions in Canada t-shirt.
I mean, dear oh dear. As JT says again, race just keeps getting crazier and crazier. It is the most bizarre race, a pair of races I've seen in this series ever, maybe in any series for quite some time. This is just extraordinary, it really is. But, well, I'll do some maths in a moment. It's going to have big implications on this championship. Speaking as an overall round, though, this is going to be Court's lowest score of the season, even lower than Spa when he had 2 DNFs, or at least certainly 1 DNF in the main race there. Hence why he had so few points. Same at Donington Park where he had trouble. And Merchant has also, of course, not taken advantage of this, so it's he who's missing out on a big opportunity here. He would have gained 4 points from the first race, but he's not got any drop rounds, so in fact he actually dropped further away now. Noddy Amel is the one who's really got to take this now by the scruff of the neck. He gained 12 points from race 1. It's only 7th at the moment in race 2, as Peterson's down the inside of Sousa. He's not quite far enough alongside. At the moment, for 7th place, only 6 points from Amel. He has got to take more of an advantage than that.
Yeah, absolutely. The exit speed as well, too. You can see Francisco's a little bit all over the place. We're not very sure we've got damage. A few of these cars might have suffered a bit of damage. A few of them have come out there and had a bit of a tank slapper to the wall. We don't know if it bent a little bit of the steering, a little bit of the arrow. Oof. You can tell at the moment there that I don't think Francisco's very happy with that car. Nick seems to be much more confident.
Oh, and again Sousa just in front of Peterson. Thankfully they avoid hitting each other there as they come down the straight now towards the final chicane. Sorry, the final hairpin again. Oh, it's too late from Peterson. He's going to have to go for a late apex here, and Sousa gives it to him. Yeah. Sousa gives him the clean line. He could have slid up in front of him there, and he's on a cool down. And Peterson isn't, but doesn't even need the push to pass. Well, now he does, because Sousa can get back into the slipstream, come straight back through at him here, and look at the straight line speed the Argentina's got. Inside line for the final car. Oh, and Peterson's in. That's a good idea. He's going to cover off McAllister here, but he decides to go in. And, of course, side by side is the only way you're going to get a clear entry on the way into pit lane, so it's not a bad idea.
So this is what happened to Ryan a little bit earlier, which caused this little bit of kerfuffling that happened. So he goes for a spin. He's all by himself. I think it's the exit here. No, that's right. That's when Noddy was off, as well as who was that before?
I can't remember now.
Xavier, maybe. I think it might have been Xavier. So Noddy goes for a little spinneroo here. Which, mind you, Noddy's still in this race, believe it or not. There it is. Oh, so I wonder if it's because he saw Xavier go off.
Oh, my God.
And then, yeah, Xavier goes off here. And that just causes the other drivers... I don't know why I've just caught the end of that one, unfortunately. But, yeah, Noddy's going to... And then again, it wasn't that, because there's a few more cars that went around, wasn't it? There! Oh, that's just hard to say whether or not that's because, as I said, Noddy was looking at him. Let's have a look. He's riding on board, so...
Yeah, I think he just spins on his own here. I think it's quite difficult to look that far in front.
You should be focusing on the exit. No, he's already spun.
Yeah, he's actually unsighted there, so he's actually behind the wall in a way that means he can't be seen, and look at that. Thibaut does his best to avoid, and I'm afraid Amel there just pull into his path, so I wonder whether he might end up in a bit of trouble for that at the end of the day. We do have stewards post-race in this series, by the way.
There's a few damaged cars on the clock. But Elliott Rolls, this is going to be great, obviously, for the DDK Racing XT8 Jordan entry. That's a bit of a mouthful, but Elliott Rolls, I mean, he's done everything he needed to do in this race. Just get out in front, and control this race from this position with Lianchi in second place, about 4 seconds and change down the road here. So it could still be anything that happens with pit stops and so forth. Noddy is the fastest man on the track currently at the moment. He's the only driver in the 18 club sitting in P5. So keep an eye on him trying to reduce that 6 or so second gap down to Robert Nobles in P4, who's up 16 places for Robert too. So good job for the Mustard Seed Racing driver.
The question is going to be that how far can you get up the field now because of these spins and troubles earlier on in the day. I should read the race control channel a bit more, by the way, because I would have known that, therefore, that Noddy ML couldn't start the first race from anywhere other than last because he had a qualifying ban for a major collision caused on lap 5 of the sprint race last week. But there you go. Sorry about that. I didn't realise. So he's got to be careful, ML, because in this series there's a system of getting too many of the same types of penalty, and you will start to get points deductions and other punishments as well. As Sousa stays in front of Peterson, he's in the fence. Sousa's in the fence in the wall of champions, and he's gone. It's Francisco Sousa, who's defended so well for so long, hasn't somehow got a meatball for that, but he's only got 3 wheels on his wagon.
I was going to be cueing the Queen song. Another one bites the dust, isn't it? Bang! That's why they call it the Wall of Champions, because it has collected champions, because in the past of Formula One, now we're collecting perhaps future champions on top of it here in League Zero. And just like that, I was about to say that's actually going to bring Gareth McAllister into play, because he was hovering behind that man, catching him because of that fighting that they were doing. Now, and we've seen Gareth McAllister do this before in the past, haven't we? He's sometimes been a couple of seconds a lap slower than everybody else, but he's managed to give himself a nice, even top 5, top 6 positions, because he's just managed to stick within the race, managed to finish the race, which is all essentially you need to do at this point, because once again, we've got one of those races of attrition where we're losing a driver once every couple of laps, and we're on 18 and 30.
Imagine if this race was a wet race, by the way. I've had a couple of those so far, and they've been carnage, but goodness me. We've seen a dry race here, and it's taken out half the field. Here comes McAllister on Peterson. These two pitted at different times to avoid each other. They're back together again. Here comes McAllister down the inside and through. Still, we have seen Sousa inside, but he's obviously out of the race now, so it's just going to be between these two. But nobody else in front of them has come in. Still waiting for the top 6 yet to make their pit stop here. With 12 laps to go at the line for Elliott Rolls. There are still 18 minutes to go, though. We are well on course to complete the 30 laps, unlike what we did in the sprint race, despite a safety car here in the feature race, because the time is a little bit more lenient for the laps we've got here in the feature. We will definitely complete the laps allotted, I think. And good news for Noddy ML, because that means he can try and gain as many places as possible, and I reckon a top 5 by the end of the day is absolutely possible here for him.
It certainly will be the pace as RJ goes in the pit lane, apparently from P3. Certainly will be for the pace of Noddy, because he is lapping about a second quicker than everybody else on the field there, and he's got that gap down to about shy of 3 seconds to Robert currently at the moment in P4, which whoa! Who was that into the fence there? That's Ballinus. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I thought that was actually Robert, but it wasn't. It was Ballinus.
Robert's got quite a distinctive green.
Yeah.
It's definitely not him. It's Carlos Ballinus, the only driver a lap down, unbelievably, from this race. Peterson, to be fair, is nearly a minute down, but not a lap down just yet. There is the view of Nobles from ML, just a second and a half, and as we've been saying time and again, ML has got to take as many points as possible here from this race. A top 4 finish, by the way, would reduce his deficit to court, I believe. Actually, I'll have to do some maths on that. I think he'd be aiming at the end of tonight to reduce it below 30, maybe even below 20 points, but not sure how close he's going to get to that. Elliott Rolls, meantime, is into the pit lane as 19 laps is completed. You wonder whether that is because that's the end of it, and that's the end of field. Well, not for Bianchi anyway, who continues on to lead his home race.
Absolutely, got a nice cheer from the crowds, the grandstands, as he makes his way in to, as I said, lead the first time in this race. The thing that scared me, Noddy's down now a second, by the way, too, and Robert, who might look at going to pit lane right now, and he will, and Noddy will continue. Is that, look at the way he was chucking it over those chicanes. Now, the thing is, to fears me, is with Noddy, is that the last time he chucked it over those chicanes, the ones that little indented sleeping policeman, I like to call as well, too, he's not ferrying anymore like he did earlier. where he went off. I mean, this thing is somehow just found a whole bunch of new traction. It's just going quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, he is at the moment. So Court will take 10 points from this race, by the way. Noddy Amell in the previous race finished in second position and so took 12 points. I think Callaway got the fastest lap point, so that doesn't account for anything. So that's already 2 gained. If he wants it to be below 30 points, then he needs to gain 18 points tonight. That would again be a top 5, or better. And I think he is going to manage that. So it's going to be below 30 points, but it's going to be above 20, somewhere in there, I would reckon. And that's a good return on the day, really. Elliott Court's still going to be the championship leader, and in fact he is going to gain a little bit on Merchant, pushing that out towards 40. But Amell is going to be up into second position. Callaway's going to fall away. And where's Elliott Rolls going to be by the end of the day? Because he picked up 8 points from the first sprint race, and at the moment, if he continues on, he'll be picking up the race-winning 30. That would be massive for him if he could take all of those home and bring himself to below 40 points back. That's Ballinas in his latest trip across the grass. Oh, and into the wall as well, our latest driver in the fence.
That's the way he went down to pit lane. I was wondering, Noddy's in pit road right now. I was wondering why he was in pit road, because he was on the damage clock. And, oh, Noddy, you didn't quite get your spot there. Oh, and the Ferrari pit crew are urgently having to move the wheel jack even further back. It's there somewhere, Noddy, I'm sure. There it is.
You've been there.
Yeah. I mean, you've got,
what,
30, 40
T-Bone
boxes
McAllister in front.
to choose from.
Close.
Yep. Oh, there they are.
Oh, he was trying to get in front of them. He was trying to overcut them, but I think that pit stop mistake that you just commented on there has actually cost him a chance at getting a run-up on Nobles. Oh, T-Bone's off immediately here, and here comes McAllister. He's surely going to have a penalty, and T-Bone's trying to get out of the way to serve it, and he's going to slow to let Amell through as well. Or is he? He's still on the inside. Don't forget, these two have got history in this race, and T-Bone shoves him to the outside. He's still giving him space to the inside line, and Amell's going to now get on the push to pass, surely. He needs to get clear of these guys as quickly as possible, and he is up to 6th place with 8 laps to go.
Wow. It's so easy to make a slight little mistake around here, and obviously Noddy thankfully has cleared those drivers apart from Gareth up the road, and so Antonio's in. Are they going to pass him in the pit lane at the moment? Ooh, that'll be interesting. No, Antonio's just exiting pit road right now, so that should not be a problem. Sajay is in P3, down a little bit further down the road. Robert and Gareth and McAllister, and then you're going to see Noddy and Ryan a little bit further down there. So that's the situation after our pit stops. That should be the last pit stop of this race. We've just shy of 9 laps to go. Elliott Rolls in a commanding lead. Oh, not that much of a command. It's 7 seconds up the road there from Antonio.
Yeah, it's probably felt more comfortable than it's been, really, because it's never been close, but also never really more than a few seconds. Now up to 7, which I think is the biggest of the day. But nevertheless, it isn't really a very big gap, I would say. So Bianchi is just going to continue to plug away at that gap, and Zahara as well, who has not had much to do in this race, but is going to finish on the podium as things stand. It's Noddy Amell who is going to be the one who will be exhilarating to watch in these final 8 laps of the race, which is actually beginning at the end of this one, sorry, not the end of the last one. So 9 to go, including the one that Amell is on at the moment, and it's going to be McAllister who's up next. Then they will try and chase down Nobles as well, and Nobles just made a mistake, which has meant the gap has dipped below 6 seconds now to him. So 4th place is looking on the cards here for Amell, and that would drive the championship lead of Elliott Court ever down further after Elliott Court retired from both races tonight, and will therefore lose points. He will not lose his championship lead, but he will certainly lose points heading into the final 2 races.
Absolutely, and these other drivers have to capitalise on that. There's not many opportunities that you can. Whoa! As Gareth will get away with a bit of netcode on that one, but that's definitely going to give the position up there to Noddy, and I'd have to imagine it's only a matter of time anyway, because if you look at Noddy's lap times, he just set the fastest lap on that last lap too. And 18.69, it was at 1 minute 20 for Gareth, of course, and that tank slap on the fence didn't help as well too for the Aussie. So I think he just needs to sit there and think about P6 for him. Noddy's thinking at the moment. Who's up my next up my hit list? Robert Nobles.
So that will be 4th place if Amell can get there in time. That's an extra 3 points on the line for that as well. And he's got the fastest lap point as things stand, although that could come down later on to who's got the push to pass remaining, and it won't be ML because he's been making up places. So we'll have to worry about that with Elliot Rolls out front and see how badly he wants. And there you go. Rolls might even be starting to wind that up a little bit now at an 18.9 is only... And there you go. Bianchi just takes it off him. So only 0.03 of a second quicker. But these cars are getting quicker all the time as the fuel burn comes down here and the new tyres get put on. These guys are going quicker all the time. And so Emil is not going to be able to focus on that one bonus point. He's going to have to make up places on Nobles and use the push to pass smartly to try and get around him. And that is going to allow Rolls to fight for an extra bonus point there that Emil is not able to fight him for.
And on top of that, Ewan, you got to remember, the more they're pushing, the more that those walls start approaching at a rapid race as well too. So not only you're fighting the clock and fighting those laps, you also fight, as well as the other drivers, you're also fighting to make sure you keep that car out of the fence because it's claimed so many victims tonight.
It certainly has. It's been one of the more unbelievable races we've seen this season, that's for sure. Quietened down, of course, late on, but the drama hasn't really stopped in it. I've got to say, the gap for the lead is less than 6 seconds. Surely we're not going to see a late turnaround there for Bianchi at his home race. That would be impossible. But maybe he is going to be able to get up to the back and past before too long. Into the final corner for Emil. Look at the way he's closing here. His time's on the top, and the time that Nobles is losing down at the bottom since the pit stops. 2.5 seconds on lap 22, 1.2 seconds on 23. This time round it's probably something similar as well. Emil is really closing quickly and maybe putting a bit of doubt into Saji Duher's mind as well, but although that is a 10-second gap with just 6 laps remaining as they have now.
Once you get that slipstream as well too, you get so much more mighty power. You can see because Gareth, once he got behind Noddy, even though Noddy was a lot quicker than Gareth could still manage to keep up to him because he's in that slipstream. Once he's in that, once he falls out of it, gets that dirty air, he'll start dropping off, which he has slowly now. But the last couple of laps, he's been keeping up the tailpipe there. But once Noddy gets onto the back there of Robert Noble's Mustard Seed Racing car, Robert's going to have to use any of that magic push to pass button to try to keep that bay.
And I'm not sure, A, how much he's going to have left, or B, how much that's going to help here. This is looking like an inevitable gap closing at the moment. A slight miss of the apex there through turn 8, which Emil's got absolutely down now. Ever since he had that spin through turn 9, he's done remarkably well actually to not spin again after the spinning around he had earlier on in the day. As far as turn 9 is concerned, when Ryan Tebow made contact with him, and now he's on the push to pass. So Nobles responds with a bit of push to pass of his own, and so Emil takes it off. Well, that is interesting. He knows he hasn't got much left, and indeed, I know there's not much time left in the race, but he'd quite like to have another go at the fastest lap, I think, in the remaining laps. But if he's using it at the same time as Nobles, there isn't much point. So here we go, out of the final corner, and he's going to try and go for it in towards turn 1 instead. Nobles has been lulled into taking it off himself, and here comes Emil into turn 1. He's not going to go for it. He's going to bide his time here. He's not desperate to... Oh, and he's going to be given the place. It's a gift. Robert Noble's off the circuit, and Gareth McAllister's going to be in the top 5 for the second time tonight. McAllister finished 3rd in race 1. He's 5th in race 2. It's a gift from Robert Nobles, who goes down to 6th.
Yep, like I was saying, you don't have to be the quickest driver out on the track there to get you some good hurl points here this evening. You have to just be the most consistent is going to be the key, and that's what McAllister has been. It doesn't look like the Aussie has been making a lot of mistakes, you can see. So that's perfect for him. Now he's going to have to do a bit of defensive driving against Robert now, who wants to definitely try to retake that position back. He's still up 14 places, Robert, so you can't count out to say he's had a bad race. He's just unfortunately dropping out of the places where he would like to be a little bit higher. I think podium's up for grabs because Sajay is kind of way up the road there by about 12 seconds from these drivers, at least from Robert. But Bianchi is 4.4 now. Has he got enough time, Ewan, to take the bite out of the race leader, Elliot Rolls? It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to overtake.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to have the time, but he certainly is closing this gap, that's for sure. He knows his way around here. He'll just be ruining the fact that the gap has got so large, to be honest. In fairness, he did start all the way down in 10th, Bianchi, whereas Rolls started on the pole and has led ever since, but This is an unbelievably fast car at the moment. A 0.4 last time round is quite close to the best lap time of the day. Of course, was set by him. That 0.4, by the way, still faster than anybody else has done today. Yeah. So he's now got the top 2 best times of the day, all to himself. Although he did clearly use a bit of push to pass on that lap itself. There'll be 3 laps to go, and I think he is going to run out of time, sadly. But this is a great effort towards the end.
Half a second a lap, you can see, on average, is not going to cut it. Not enough. You need to be slicing about a second a lap. But more importantly, all he can do at the moment is just put pressure on so that in Elliot Rolls' ear from his spotter will be, the man behind you is faster and faster and faster each lap. And of course, that can throw a driver off. If Elliot rolls, he's going to be like, okay, but talk to your engineer. Is it going to be enough to catch me by the end of the race? Hopefully his engineer is saying no.
So he's scraping the wall around here as well. He's really pushing hard, but that's another 18.5, by the way. So he's got the top 3 fastest laps. In fact, that lap 23 there is the 4th fastest lap at 0.6. So he's got the top 4 fastest laps all to himself. I'm not sure when the last time I saw a driver do that, really. But again, it's all going to be in vain, unfortunately, because this is just too little too late towards the end. Noddy Emel now is going to put an end to this top 4 business because he's gone quite quick himself there with a personal best. And you wonder whether, because Bianchi doesn't really need the fastest lap point, he's not a championship contender, he's just trying to win this race here. And as you say, 6 tenths is not going to cut it, so he's going to try and go faster and faster on his own. But Emel might try and fight him for the fastest lap point and empty his push to pass on the last lap.
This might help actually Rolls too. If we can get a nice little toe from a back marker up here, pending he doesn't get hindered too much, it might help him out. I believe that's Ryan as well. Ryan gets completely out of the way. So he says, I don't want no part of this, my friend. Ryan did have a little bit of a moment before too on lap 26. We'll a quick replay of that. That's one of the reasons as to why he's dropped back a little bit further. But still in the race, of course, for the Canadian. He wants to make sure he can keep the crowd happy and bring the car home. But that's the little spinneroo, and that's luckily no damage, actually. Just waving to the fans, I'd say.
Yeah, he was showing off to his fellow Canadians, down to 8th place now, sadly for him. Last time round, by the way, again fast from Bianchi, a 0.3, but Emel with a 0.4, so he's getting closer to that fastest lap, and he's got 2 more laps to do it. The white flag will be shown to these guys next time round. It looks like Elliot Rolls is going to take the full 30 points from this one. Added to the 5th place points he's got from race 1, that's just 8. Then he's gained 38 points tonight. You do the maths, and that is a lot more than the 10 that Elliot Court is going to have. And so what's that? A gain of 28. The gap would be down around 27 points for Rolls, who would actually get quite close to Emel as well, who's only getting 4th place points from this. 17 plus the 12 from race number 1. That's a 19-point gain from him. And he will be at 29 points, actually. So Rolls might even be in second in the championship. Of course, all this subject to change as Bianchi maybe even pushing too hard through the final chicane there, getting a slowdown.
I think he actually cut the chicane or something like that, because he shaved that by about half the distance he had between him as he's pushing. But obviously he's going to have to back off. Then he'll probably get back up to about 3 seconds between them. Oh, as you can see, there it is. Spunty serves his slowdown as well, if not more. So he must have completely cut. Probably around the final turn near the Wall of Champions, he probably went straight through on that one. But nothing Elliot needs to worry about. No, he is using some of that push to pass, I believe. Yes, he is. Look how much he saved.
Wow.
Best for last.
He's been comfortable towards the end. In fact, he could have used it for both of the last laps combined. The push to pass allowing you 2.5 laps of push to pass here, and he seems to have tried to use it all at the very end, although not quite all, as you'll see. Nevertheless, he may even move into second place in the championship tonight, as Elliot Court retires from both races, has to fall back on a rather lowly drop week from weeks ago. And Elliot Rolls has perhaps his best week of the season so far. He's coming into form at the right time, and he's going to win race 2 here tonight in the Barrier Magnet Grand Prix of Montreal. It is Elliot Rolls who takes it Bianchi finishes second at his home race, and Sazi Zuhair is going to limp home to a podium, but Noddy Amel's only just behind him here, and Amel's right on the push to pass towards the end. He's going to run out towards the end here as well. Look at it go red here, and he's going to go for the fastest lap, not instead the third place, I don't think, unless Zuhair makes a mistake through the final corner, as Ryan Thibault just did through the final chicanes. It is not going to be a mistake from Zuhair. He took it cautiously. Amel certainly didn't. He's going to get a draft towards the line just as the push to pass is ending. Is there going to be an extra fastest lap point for Noddy Amel? Yes, there is.
Yep.
Rolls got it on the last lap as he emptied his push to pass, but then it's superseded by Noddy Amel. A 17.8. He came from last to second in the first race. He started in fourth. He bizarrely finishes fourth in race 2, but he gains a whole load of points for this championship as well, which has just been blown wide open tonight.
This is what happened for Ryan in the... so I think he's actually retired, but he's had a hard lick into the fence here. Okay, we have a look into the World Champions. He says, all right, here we go. And bang, that's what we saw. But luckily, they did tow that car before the other drivers started cruising around that corner behind him. Otherwise, they might have had a bit of a problem trying to avoid it. But, well, you go. Roll on, Elliot Rolls. He won.
Yeah, remarkable race. Won by Elliot Rolls in the end. And hopefully he'll come to have a chat with us as well at the end of this race 2. Hopefully we'll hear from the boss for the first time this season as well, from Antonio Bianchi. But an attritional, a brilliant but a bizarre second race here from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's Elliot Rolls who finishes 4.5 seconds in front of Antonio Bianchi, and Saji Zuhair, who actually just only hangs on from Noddy Amel in the end there. Amel, of course, closing in for the fastest lap on the very last lap. Gareth McAllister gets the top 5 ahead of Robert Nobles and Nick Peterson. Ryan Thibault ended up with damage at the line there, but he gets home 1 lap down. Carlos Balanas and Francisco Souza around at the top 10, but all of these guys out of the race, including James Turnbull, Arturo Mayorga, Elliot Court, our championship leader, Jack Mundy out for the second time tonight as well, Xavier Seneve running off the top 15, Guillermo Paré, Finley Fitzsimmons, Jace Meyer, Ricardo Espino, Jaden Callaway and Adam Merchant. Those last 2 out on lap 1 in the big smash-up. It's quite unbelievable, the race we have seen here tonight, that is for sure. And Elliot Rolls still enjoying some donuts, so we'll give him some time to enjoy those. But what a race. Great race in isolation, but also blowing the championship wide open too.
That it has. Absolutely fantastic. When we get a chance to chat some of these drivers, we'll grab them in a second. I think we're getting some of them coming out of their cockpits and down into the interviews on the podium here this evening. Ewan?
Yeah, so, excuse me, let's start with Elliot Rolls, who finishes in the top 5 twice tonight, but wins race 2. Elliot, welcome in. Congratulations on a race win in race 2 tonight at Montreal, your first win of the season. You continue a run of top 5s, which continues on as well, by the way. How was that second race? Because there was a lot going on behind you. I want to know how much you saw of it while you were out front for so long.
Well, I heard my teammates shouting about it a lot in the voice chat. And yeah, I saw a bit of it in my mirrors and in my relative. And every once in a while I'd hear, oh, this guy who's like fast in the league's out. This guy is fast in the league's out. And it just slowly came to the realization, oh God, I can actually win this.
Yeah. And in the end, obviously, well, relatively comfortable. Were you ever worried about Antonio closing in on you there, or did you believe you had it in hand always?
My only concern was when he didn't come into the pit for 3 laps after I came in, because I was running on fumes as I came into the pit. So I was wondering, has he managed to save enough to somehow get to the end, even though I know that's not possible. And yeah, in general, on the track, I was just able to keep reminding myself, yes, he's gaining, but not by enough. He needs to be gaining by a second here. He's gaining by 3-4 tenths. I have this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Are you seeing yourself as a championship contender now? Because you've gained 38 points tonight. That's 28 gains on court as far as my maths is concerned. That pretty much halves your gap. In fact, it more than halves it, down to just 27 with 2 races to go, or 3 races, 2 rounds to go. Are you seeing yourself as a late championship contender on a late charge here or not?
Admittedly, no. I just don't have the raw pace for it. This, I had the pace today, but I feel that was more a bit of an anomaly.
As we saw tonight, you never know. It's just say that much. because tonight was a weird race. By my maths, he may even be in second in the championship after tonight, although we'll have to obviously go away and check that. Because, well, I know Callaway won race 1, but he didn't score any points from race 2. And you've got to remember, so many of guys have missed races that they don't have any drop week to fall back on. So when they score 0, they really do score 0. So Callaway crashed out in race 2. Merchant didn't finish in the top 10 either time. I don't think. Well, he finished 9th in the first race, but you don't get many points for that. And he would have DNF'd the second race as well. And I think Noddy maybe is ahead of you, but it's very close between the two of us. You might even be second. It sounds like that surprises you.
Yeah, no, I really was not expecting it. Like, coming into this season, it was off admittedly a string of very bad seasons from me. So I wasn't really expecting much, despite a very strong end to last season. But yeah, no, I'm honestly really surprised that I'm even in the talk for P2 in the standings, much less maybe even there.
Well, yeah, it's very. I think it's going to be very close between yourself and Noddy, unless I've done the maths wrong. So we'll find out whether I'm correct or not next week.
All right.
But for now, Elliot, congrats on the win in race 1 tonight, and of course getting to fifth in. Winning race 2, getting to fifth in race 1, I should say. And thanks for coming to chat to us at the end as always.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for broadcasting this. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks very much. Elliot Rolls, first place tonight. Oh, I nearly dragged you out there, Biggles. Sorry. You've left so quickly. Elliot Rolls, winner tonight in race number 2. While we were chatting there, the boss man, Antonio Bianchi, has got himself into the interview room. So for the first time this season, I believe, we can have a chat to him. Antonio, welcome in. Good to have you with us, and congratulations on a second place finish in race 2 and a double top 10 on home turf for you tonight. Were you ever believing that you could close in on Rolls late on there? Because there were points where that race was maybe in a little bit of doubt with you and the ascendancy and closing in there. Did you ever believe, though, that you could get to the race win?
I had some faith, but the problem was I got some wing damage early. I actually thought it was from the incident with Naughty, which was completely my fault. I just rolled too much mid-corner speed, but I got some wing damage early in the feature from actually hitting the wall too hard, and then from there I started losing ground on him. And then when I went to pit, it forced me to take the wing, which sucks, because then it ruined all hope, because I was actually able to run pretty similar times, so I was like, oh, maybe I could get him. And then as soon as I got the wing fixed, it was like, okay, now I'm reeling him in, but it just not enough time.
Yeah, just ran out of laps towards the end. Speaking of running out of time, by the way, we did run out of time in race number 1. Are you in control of when the safety car comes out at the start of these races? Or, because at Donington, we were told it was an accident.
We do deploy them. Last race, not to throw him under the bus, but Gareth threw it by accident. We don't we don't typically throw it unless it's a pretty significant wreck, like, kind of unsafe to get by. I'd say the feature was a great example of that. A lot of cars had to cut the corner.
Well, both actually, heat and feature, I'd say.
The sprint, yeah, the sprint was intentional, I'd say, as well. We had 3 cars coming out of the pit lane, which caused some issues there because it was actually blocked. We couldn't go, so they threw that as well. And then, it's just the rolling start again was unintentional as well. That was just a session problem. So a little bit of a cluster of a race, but it worked out, I guess, for me, sort of. So I'll take it.
I mean, it was fun to broadcast as well, as always, to watch from the sidelines as well. But on race 1, you had to start from the back. First of all, was there any particular reason you decided to start from the back for race 1? How did you make up so many places to score a top 10 before the finish as well?
Well, so ironically, this adds to the demise, I guess, of the session problems. We actually tried to delay the session start a little bit for someone who lost connection, and I ended up starting the grid, so I wasn't on the grid when it started. Yeah. So I actually, myself, and 2 others ended up having to start from the pit lane, which caused that, which was rough. But I did end up reeling in a few positions back, which was good. I actually made my way to 5th. I'm sure you saw the incident there. I just kind of didn't expect to gain as much ground on Nick as I intended to, and then from there I had to go over the bumps, and over there I lost it, and then I had to limp it across with no tire, so that was fun.
Yes, sorry, I'd forgotten that. Honestly, you may not have seen them all. There's been so many incidents tonight. I had forgotten which one it was, but you have just jogged my memory, and that was a mildly amusing sight of seeing you limp over the line quite like that. But anyway, it's still a top 10, bizarrely. So so many things have happened tonight. Congrats on scoring 2 top 10s and a second place in race 2 as well. And thanks for chatting to us as well for, I believe, the first time this season.
Yeah, so it might be the first or second time I've come in here for sure. Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks very much. That's Antonio Bianchi, who finishes in second tonight in race 2. Of course, leader of the league as well here, obviously with others, as he mentions there. And not a podium interview necessarily, but one worth having as well. Robert Nobles, who finishes in 6th place in race 2 tonight. Robert, welcome in. Good to have you with us. How would you describe those 2 races at Montreal tonight? Because it was complete carnage from where we were sat.
It was a roller coaster night for me. Starting just in qualifying, I couldn't get a lap down in first half of qualifying, and then in the second half, just at the end there, barely squeaked enough to get my second best career here in League 0. Just to then get taken out in the turn 1, lap 1 of the sprint, which was absolutely chaotic. Barely squeaked it out in the feature race, lap 1, turn 1. More chaos, but yeah, definitely chaotic. It's always chaotic here.
Yeah, it is, and you managed to make up for that, thankfully, with a good run through the field in race 2, up 14 places to get into 6th. But what were those late battles like in race 2? Because eventually it got a bit calmer with everybody crashing. How were the battles one-on-one that you ended up having with the likes of Francisco Souza and Gareth McAllister and some others?
I definitely had to kind of pick and choose where you're putting your car. It's a narrow track around here, but everybody kept it clean and kept it to the limit. Never crossed anything. So it was good fun. Yeah,
it was good fun to watch as well. Congrats on a 6th place finish, a run through of 14 places in race number 2, particularly tonight. And thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much, Robert Nobles there, finishing in 6th in race 2 tonight. Well, I doubt we're going to see many more races like that, Biggles, to be honest. There was stuff going on all of the time and a potential for championship drama in the future now as well. Elliot Cook came in with 33 points over second in this championship and nearly 60 over 5th place, but all of a sudden that is going to close in massively with 2 DNFs. The driver who was in 5th place before tonight is going to be within 30 points of him going into the next race, and that is going to make the nerves even higher going into the just one race we have next week from Suzuka.
That's what you like. You want a championship that's going to get very close towards the end, so it's spicy and anybody could really take it. So it just takes one race, doesn't it, at the end of the day? Well, essentially 2 if you count the heat race of things to go flippy upside down, you know what I mean? So that's the situation. Of course, going back to our calendar, we are over to my time zone, neck of the woods of Suzuka, even though it's the same time zone each week that we're going to be tuning in on here, well, apart from the US Thanksgiving week. But another high-speed circuit with a lot of tight and twisty turns, my friend, Suzuka.
Yeah. A bit more of a flowing circuit, but certainly more of the same high-speed stuff, and the first one race day that I'll be at, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll be back, of course, next week for the Lou & Sue's Suzuka Invitational Grand Prix, sponsored by Ryan Thibault. Big thanks to Jaden Callaway, although he won race 1 and, of course, DNF'd race 2 for his sponsorship of the Barrier Magnet Grand Prix of Montreal. It has been a thoroughly enjoyable addition to the calendar, so a big thanks to him again. And thanks to all the drivers who provided the entertainment for us here tonight. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside Dean Biggles. Until we're both back again for the one race at Suzuka next week, it's goodbye for now.